Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Millionaire Mentor Zoom. Please let us know your name and where you're calling in from. And at this point would be a very good time for you to text your team. Make sure that they know that this is happening right now. Okay, so let's get as many people on this. This is a continuation of last week.
Amanda, DMV.
Welcome, Amanda.
Era y'all, Dominican
Alejandro
Republic.
Amigón.
Welcome.
Candy
Welcome.
Tampa, Florida.
Welcome.
Michael Roberts, Moultrie, Georgia.
Sam being Houston, Texas.
Jeremy Dennis, Festus, Missouri.
Welcome.
Ricardo B, DMV.
All
Happy
righty.
Jewel, Houston, Texas.
Shirley Quinlan, U.S. Virgin Islands.
Philip from Jacksonville, Florida.
Erica Neal from Puerto Rico.
Welcome.
Audra George, Lantana, Florida.
Oh, two Floridas at once. Hey.
Eugene
Yes.
Poole, up in Marlboro, Maryland.
Keith Williams out of New York City. City's so nice they named it twice.
Emma Artist, DMV, Virginia.
Welcome.
Tim Neal, Puerto Rico.
Mark Swift from Los Angeles office.
Welcome, welcome.
Shannon Chapman down in Tampa.
Welcome from Tampa.
Leslie Johnson, South Carolina.
Roberto
Alrighty,
from
welcome.
Rancho Cucamonga.
Welcome, Robert.
Kathy Austin, Georgia.
Welcome from Georgia.
Chris from Corona, California.
Welcome, welcome.
This is Chris from Long Beach, California.
Welcome. Make sure that you guys are messaging your teams. Make sure you guys, and even any prospects that you have that are on the border getting started, make sure that they get on. Sometimes it's one of these trainings that really, switch it on for some people. So let's take a couple more introductions and we're going to dive into the information.
Leroy from St. Louis.
Welcome.
Sabrina, Houston, Texas.
Welcome, Sabrina. All righty. Okay, we're going to get started. We're at 3 minutes after the hour, so we're going to get started, ladies and gentlemen. My name is JC Rangel, and I am very excited to be here. Let's make sure that we've got everybody on mute. Please make sure that you mute yourselves. Juan, if we can make sure that everybody's on mute and that we are casting this, I think we are, to the Facebook group. A couple of announcements. Make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you are a part of the Facebook group, okay? If you're not on Facebook, well, that's fine. Make sure you're on WhatsApp. All of these trainings, in case you don't know, are live streamed to the Facebook group. Every training, every business presentation, everything that's happening on letsbuild.com is simultaneously being live streamed to our Facebook group. It's called Build HQ. Make sure that when you and your team goes there, you guys fill out the questions, who your sponsor is, etc. Whatever they ask you, make sure you fill out the questions, because if you don't, we reject people that don't answer those questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to be here. It is Monday, and we've got a bunch of meetings happening during the week. Let's make sure that we not forget tomorrow. I want to see a strong showing tomorrow in the business overview. Mr. Sam Bean runs Tuesdays. Make sure that you guys are promoting like crazy. Get as many of your prospects to go. It's not enough just to come on the Millionaire Mentor Zoom, listen to some information, get motivated, and think that just with information alone, we're going to go out and achieve the goals that we're looking to achieve. No, it takes action, right? We got to take this stuff and take action. Sometimes on the Millionaire Mentor Zoom, we're training on personal development. Sometimes we're training on business development and, you know, how to build your business, recruiting tactics, sales tactics. But right now, last week and this week, we're training on one of my favorite books, which is The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. So I'm going to start where we left off last week. So I would recommend, ladies and gentlemen, that you get your mental track shoes ready. And I also recommend that you are taking copious notes. We're going to finish this off. You're not going to learn this information on the laws of success by watching last week's training and this training. I recommend that you study it. And here's another thing I'm going to mention to you. Keep this in mind. You could listen to this training today, and if you listen to it again a year from now, and between now and that year, you are taking action, you are talking to people, you are making sales, you are losing sales, right? You're getting rejection. Okay. Okay. Here's what's happening. This happens sometimes, so let's stop sharing. Okay, Juan, let's make sure that nobody has access to be able to do that. Juan, are you here? Please let me know.
I'm here, JC. I got you.
Okay, let's make sure that nobody has access to that. I apologize. You know, that goes to show that we're doing something right. You know what I mean? When you get dumb people that come on here and do things like that, it's outrageous, the world that we live in. But just imagine the kind of person that would do such a thing. You know what? Man, I'm gonna pray for that person, because that is you got to be pretty rotten inside to do such a thing. So, but anyways, we're going to go ahead. We're not going to let that stop us. So Juan, let me know once we're good to go, and then we're going to get it going, and we're going to start this training, and we're going to have the best training that we've ever had. You know why? Because nobody's going to stop us, right? And make us lose our distraction. So are we good to go, Juan?
Yes, JC.
Okay, perfect. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure that you are taking copious notes, and make sure that you are paying attention to this as you go out and you're making sales, recruiting, presentations, you're losing sales. When you come back and watch this 6 months from now, a year from now, you will look at it and learn different than you did the first time. Bottom line. But you got to go through and get your bumps. You got to go get your bumps and bruises. There's going to be obstacles along the way. Perfect example earlier today, right? That is a part of the business, right? And some customers are going to say yes, some customers are going to say no. But when you see this information a year from now, maybe 6 months from now, I train on this again. I guarantee you, some of you guys are going to come up to me and say, JC, there's some things that made more sense the second time around than they did the first time around. And I know, because I've grown. It didn't make sense to me then. It makes sense to me now. So with that being said, law number 9, I think that's the last one that we talked about, but I'm going to hit this one again. The habit of doing more than you're paid for. So the habit of doing more than you're paid for, going above and beyond expectations, and building reputation and achieving success. I talked about this earlier today. I talked about the time and money chart, right? How many guys are not? Somebody put on the chat, if you are not familiar with the time money charts. Put it in the chat. Just put no if you're not familiar with it. Okay. Let me see if I can get a whiteboard on here. Okay. 1 second, guys. Might not need to do it, but if I could, let's see here. Let me start sharing and see if I could pull up a whiteboard. I don't see the option for a whiteboard. I normally do. I don't know why today it's not letting me.
I removed it for this
okay,
meeting, sir.
that makes sense, actually. Yep, that's fine. So don't worry about it. So the time money chart is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Here's how it goes. In the beginning, you're going to invest more time into your business than the money that you're making. Here's the problem. When people's expectations are not managed, sometimes, and I'm going to be frank, some of you that are here today, your expectations are not managed. You think, oh, it's a $7,000 commission. I know some homeowners. I should be able to get 2-3 sales done in the next 30 to 60 days. And that may very well be the case. Does that mean that is guaranteed to be the case? No. What if you got some people that are not, don't want to give you the business. I saw somebody on Facebook post today. They said, a friend, very often, you could be selling something for $1,500 and they won't buy it from you because you didn't give it to them for $500, but they'll buy it from a stranger for $3,000. And I commented on that post. I said, it's true. I've always said you will make more money with strangers than you will with friends and family. I used to be a realtor many years ago. My best friend, who I literally saved his life one day, literally saved his life one day. I won't get into the story of how that happened because it's not the time or place. When his family bought a house, I was already a realtor and they knew it. They bought it with somebody else. And this guy and I went to high school together. We were best friends. We used to box together, go boxing, best friends. But they went and bought a house with somebody else, right? At the time, it bothered me a lot. I forgave them a long time ago. Say, hey, it is what it is. I learned and I grew. But my point is this. Some of you guys have friends and family members that you're expecting too much from. Look, I'm going to tell you, this is the next level thing that I could tell you, to be perfectly frank. And it's going to sound harsh, but when you take ownership, you'll go to another level. Nobody owes you anything. Just because they're your friends and family members doesn't mean that they owe you anything. Now, we should approach them, offer them the opportunity, offer them what we sell. But does that mean that they are obligated to give us that? No. And is it right when they give somebody else a business instead of you? No, it's not right. That doesn't make it right. But at the end of the day, I know going into this, and I've proven this for 2 decades, I make more money with people I don't know. Sam Bean and I did not know each other a year ago. A year ago, I knew who he was, but I had never met him. Now, he's one of the most key people in this company, and we met roughly February of 2024. I've got friends that are big network marketers that still haven't even taken the time. They've been too busy for the last year and a half to take a look at what we put together. I don't take it personal because when I take it personal, I lose focus. I got a job to do. And I've developed the habit of doing more than I'm paid to do. I mentioned this last week. You've got to be willing to work without pay in order to get paid without work. You've got to be willing to work without pay. That means you're putting in more time than what you're making. Like if it was a job, you'd say, I'm making too little money. This is less than minimum wage. That's how business. Ladies and gentlemen, what I am saying as an entrepreneur, you've got to develop the habit as an entrepreneur of taking off the employee hat, of thinking I'm going to trade time for money. That is, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. It is not, look, if you get a job, right? They say, here's how much we pay, here's the hours and the time commitment and what we ask of you. And you guys agree, you do the task, the boss pays you the money. Simple, right? So check this out. However, there's a fast, low ceiling there. There's only so much you can make. I read a meme the other day that there's this guy in front of his Lamborghini. And it says, your boss. And he says, hey, boss, that's a nice car. The employee tells the boss with the Lamborghini, hey, boss, that's a nice car. The boss replies, thank you. And if you work your butt off for the next 5 years and you do everything you're supposed to do and you are focused and you do your job better than anybody else, if you focus and you do that for the next 5 years, I can buy me another one. You see where I'm going with this? Because that is the limit at a job. At a job, you are building somebody else's dreams. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this to be misunderstood. I am not knocking a job. Don't get me wrong. But if you want more out of life, when you say, I want more time freedom, I want to give my kids that life, I want to be a millionaire, or whatever the case may be, you got these huge goals. Most of the time, that is not accomplished through a job. A job is great and it serves its purpose for a season or for a couple of seasons. So nothing wrong with it. Okay. However, if you want to be a multiple six-figure earner, there's not a lot of jobs that pay multiple six figures, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a lot of jobs that pay six figures, much less seven figures, right? Entrepreneurship is a way, but you've got an entrepreneur, a high-level entrepreneur. And I notice that I spend a lot of time on this one. There's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. High-performing entrepreneurs know that sometimes they got to take one step back to take two steps forward. Let me tell you something. When I started this company, you know, my partner and I, right? Mr. Navarre and I, when we started this, I knew I'm going to take a pay cut for at least a year. I'm not going to come into the company and start making what I was already used to making. I knew that ahead of time. I said it could be 2-3 years in order for me to just get to where I'm at right now. And it's going to be more work. I had to count the cost. The Bible talks about counting the cost. I had to count the cost ahead of time. I'm going to go back to 12-hour days of working. 12-hour days, 6 days a week of working. I'm going to have to go back to where I don't have a lot of voice. And let me tell you something. A year ago, I was like the only one. Mr. Jabari Sattler has probably closed close to 100 deals since he got started. When did you get started, Jabari? About January of last year? This time last year, he was just getting going. In December of 2023, right? So 13 months ago, I closed 10 sales for BYLD. We didn't have a back office. We didn't even have the Encore Solar division name. I was recruiting, helping with the back office, designing the compensation plan, designing the PowerPoints, putting the PowerPoints together, the order of the PowerPoints. We didn't even have that, but we got some people excited. Roxy, right? Who's a Builder 1000, and she's about to hit manager. She's the one that closed the very first deal. I closed that deal for her. And that particular month, I closed 10 deals. I recruited like 15 people, closed 10 deals, did 30 presentations at least, right? It was crazy. And I knew, and I was gonna have to do it for less money, a lot less money than I was used to making. I knew that. But see, this is not my first rodeo. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, you've got to be willing to work without pay in order to get paid without work. Some of you guys are a year away, 6 months away. Some of you guys are 2 years away from financial freedom. And don't get me wrong, I am not saying that everybody here is going to achieve financial freedom. We're not making financial statements. We're recording this. Every one of you guys are distributors. We're not saying enticing things to get you in. You're already in. Your results and your success is dependent on your efforts and your skill set and your commitment. Just so we're clear. These days, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind, we will always do everything that we can to be very compliant because we're not looking to take part in this industry. We're looking to take over. We're looking to be a legacy company. But we got to play by the rules, right? We can't over-exaggerate numbers. Let's keep going. Law number 10. You got to have a pleasant personality. This can also be said, you got to have charisma. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you can develop charisma. You might think you're somebody that doesn't have charisma. I'm not very charismatic. Don't believe the lie that you can't become that. Don't believe the lie that you could be a professional salesperson, a professional network marketer, professional recruiter, a tremendous leader, a charismatic leader. But if you have the limiting belief that I am not fill in the blank, what comes after the I am is extremely powerful, man. You got to watch what you are saying about yourself. I am that leader. I am that $1 million per month earner, and I'm so happy and grateful. Write this down, and you should say this every single day. Money comes easily and frequently and in increasing quantities. Money, I'm so happy and grateful because money comes easily and frequently and in increasing quantities from different streams of income because I attract money to myself because I have a pleasant personality, because I am charismatic, because I am sharp, because I am witty where I need to be witty. I am serious where I need to be serious. The things that I say about myself you would think I'm the most arrogant person in the world, and that's not what it is. It's I understand the power of the subconscious mind. I understand. And listen, in order for you to separate yourself from others, you got to create that separation from others, right? Meaning people need to say, you're different, dude. You're not the same. Some people are going to criticize you because you're no longer going to the wing house to watch a sports game with some beers. Nothing against a sports bar and wings and beer. I'm not saying that, but my point is this. There's some of you guys are going to get invited tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific to go watch a basketball game or a football game if they're even in season. I don't know. I just follow fight sports. But something. And you're going to say some of those, I can't, not available. And some of those people are going to get annoyed by you. And that's a part of the deal. To them, you're not going to look like you have a pleasant personality. But you could develop a pleasant personality. You could develop charisma. So developing a positive and pleasant personality to strong relationships, practicing empathy and understanding towards others, building strong communication and interpersonal skills. That is such a key one. Strong communication and interpersonal skills. Ladies and gentlemen, for your notes, your level of communication is going to drastically increase your likelihood of success. It's not only your level of communication with others, it's your level of communication with yourself. How do you handle when a real estate agent, for example, somebody told me in the sales meeting today, a real estate agent said, "Oh, you make $6,000 to $7,000 a deal." Oh man, I don't want to make $6,000 to $7,000. That's pricing the job way too high for a customer to go solar. I don't want to do that to my customers. Now, somebody that doesn't have their communication skills on point may not know how to answer that at all, or may completely make it worse when they do answer. But your communication skills, it's not just the words you say. We talked about this, by the way, in communications training. Only about 35% of communication is what you say. How you say it, your tonality, your physiology has even more to do with it, right? So if a real estate agent says that to me, I say, "Oh, John, you make a great point. And I could understand how you say that. Here's one thing that you need to consider. Here's one thing that perhaps you haven't considered." You see, I'm setting them up. I make it seem like, I'm not going against you. I'm not going to say, "Yeah, but." Instead, I'll say, "Yeah, and." Yeah, and I know exactly how you feel, John. That makes total sense. But here's something that you need to consider. We are actually a broker. So somebody eventually will more than likely knock on your homeowner's door. And when they knock on their door, they're a traditional dealer. And that dealer has 3, 4, 5 people that get paid on the deal between that dealer and the broker. With us, you're the direct broker. So we make $6,000 to $7,000. Most companies have to price their jobs $6,000 to $7,000 above ours just to start making some money. So the bottom line is, over the next 10 years, your customers are going to go solar anyways, with or without your recommendation, and they're going to get a better deal with us than with anybody else. And we use the #1 installer in America. If you're open, John, I would love to show you this more in detail so I can show you what you don't understand yet. Now the real estate agent's like, "Oh," or the prospect's like, "Oh, I didn't see it that way." But also my confidence and my posture in the way I communicate speaks volumes. You know why? Because of repetition. I just brought my son from training today. Some of you guys know he does jiu-jitsu and wrestling, right? So he just finished taking a class, an hour-and-a-half class, and a private class. On the way over here, I'm telling him, "Do you notice that the coach on your private class has you do this move over and over and over, right? Because the mind forgets, and then he finishes it. The mind forgets and the body remembers." I say, remember that Bruce Lee quote? "I don't fear the man that has thrown 10,000 kicks one time." Meaning 10,000 different kicks. I don't fear that man, he says. "I fear the man or woman that has thrown one kick 10,000 times. Repetition. That's a philosophy of martial arts. So guess what? When I'm talking to people over and over and over, and I'm getting these objections, I welcome them. You know why? Because I'm getting better. Because I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over. Who wants to take over with me is a question. I'm not here to take part. I'm here to take over. And I need 100 takeover warriors. I need 100 real ones. I need 100 people that say, we're going to the top. We're going to bless so many families. We're going to bless people with this opportunity. We're going to bless our customers. And we're going to do so much of it that we're going to become stinking, filthy rich. And stinking filthy is not bad words, by the way. Because guess what? LeBron James makes, I don't know, 50 million a year, whatever he makes a year. Some people might say he gets paid too much money. No, he serves more people than you serve. That's why he makes the money he makes. People want to get entertained. They pay to get entertained. And that guy brings eyeballs to the game. He gets paid according to the value he brings to the marketplace. I need 100 warriors that say, I'm going with you, JC. You can count on me, dog. Excuse me, my hood comes out from time to time, right? You can count on me, bro. I'm on a minimum 5-year commitment. I'm on a 10-year commitment. I'm going until. I'm willing to work more. I'm willing to work without pay to get paid without work. I understand this is making sense. I got to switch from the employee mindset to the entrepreneur, big business mindset. I've been watching, JC, what you tell me to watch. I've been watching The Founder. I've been watching the Spotify documentary series on Netflix. I've been watching these entrepreneur things like the Uber one. It's called Super Pump. I recommend you guys watch it. That one's on Amazon Prime. The Spotify one is called Playlist. That one's on Netflix. The Founder movie by the McDonald's movie. It's called The Founder. That one's also on Netflix, I believe. Study entrepreneurs and you'll notice that thing, and then you start to become and understand, oh, some of you guys are not going to the next level. You know why? Because you're treating a business like a job. Now, there is a time to treat it like a job. In the day-to-day dedications, in the day-to-day things. But you gotta treat it mentally like a business. It's not gonna be like, I put this in, I get paid this. No. Here's how it goes. One of the most key things I'm going to tell you right now, pay attention. Here's how it is. I'm going to tell you how it is because you guys know I don't sugarcoat stuff. You don't come here to get sugarcoat. You come here, I'm raw like sushi. I'm going to tell you how it is, not how it should be or not how you think it should be. I'm going to tell you how it is always. Here's how it goes. You've got to do this. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 pay. Check. Finally got paid. Put in a whole bunch of work. Then you go like this. Work, 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 check. Oh, that came a little more frequent. That came a little faster. Then it's work, 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 check. Oh, that's a little bit better. Then it's work, work, check. Oh, still more work. I'm still putting in 3 times more work than the average person, but it used to be 20 times. It used to be 12 times more work. Then it's work, work, check. Then it's work, check. Now it's even. I'm putting in 40 hours a week. I'm making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. 40 hours a week, another 5,000. 40 hours a week, another 5,000. Work, check, work, check. Then it's work, check, check. Then it's work, check, 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 check. Then eventually it's check, 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 work. Check, 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 check. Vacation. Check, 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 work. But see, most people won't give it the time to get there. But I'll tell you what, if you believe me and believe other people like Sam Bean that's done it, Mr. Ed Ayala that's done it, Mr. Wences Navarro, Danny Pacheco, all of these leaders that have done it, sometimes you just got to have blind faith and say, hey, man, I'm going to borrow your belief. I don't have it yet, but you got it. JC's got it. This other person's got it. Jabari's got it. Roxy's got it. They got the belief that they borrowed. You borrow somebody else's belief until you have your own belief. Then you start to go. Then magic starts to happen. But you got to see this when you come on here. When I used to get on trainings like this, it was in person. It was every Monday in by the LAX, downtown Los Angeles, by the LAX, every Monday for 2.5 hours. We used to pay $7 or $11, I don't remember, to get into training. It was called systems training. It was 2.5 hours every single Monday, like clockwork. Mondays and then Thursdays, business presentation in the same place, both in person. There was no Zoom. We used to get there. And by the way, there was like 200 people every single time. A company called Prepaid Legal back then. Okay. I'm sure some people here were in that company. And we used to pay to get into that training in person. There was no Zoom, right? And I remember I used to go in there and I used to think of it like this. I'm going there so people that are more successful than me can open up, so to speak, my brain, open up my head to program my brain how to be a winner, how to think like a millionaire, like a six-figure earner, like a multiple six-figure earner, like a seven-figure earner. That's what I'm going for, because in the world, I don't have people like that are programming. As a matter of fact, I got people that are trying to program me in a way that I don't want to be programmed. The question that you got to ask yourself is who you've been listening to. Who you've been listening to is going to have an impact on where you're going to be in the next 5 years, 10 years and beyond. So anyways, I think enough of that. Let's go. Number 11, accurate thinking. Cultivating critical thinking and problem-solving skills that to make informed decisions. Key words, problem-solving skills. I say this a lot, but I know that most of you guys don't remember, so I'm going to say it again. And write this down and adopt this as a life and business philosophy. We get paid based on the size of the skills that we solve, based on the size of the problems that we solve. We get paid in business based on the size of the problems that we solve. I guarantee you, man, Mr. Navarro doesn't look at problems the same way that the average person does. Mr. Bean doesn't look at problems the same way that the average person does. I guarantee it. What some people look at as a problem that's like, oh my goodness, the world is coming to an end. These guys look at it like this. Okay, how do we fix this? Let's handle this. What's the best course of action? Let's have a meeting with so-and-so and so-and-so. Let's figure this out. I'm telling you, man, we get paid based on the size of the problems that we solve. Guess what? If you go and you work at a grocery store, again, I always use this example. You guys should start using it with people as well. That's what you get on training. You hear this example over and over, it starts to shape your identity, If you work at a grocery store and they hire you to be the bag boy or the bag girl, your job is to put the cans in the bottom of the bag and the bread in the top, or the eggs in the top, so you don't smash the bread or smash the eggs. You got paid minimum wage to solve a small problem. Hey, I got a problem. I got eggs and I got heavy stuff. Let's put the heavy stuff first, put the light stuff on the top. We solved your problem, Rod. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice evening. Hope your dinner's delicious. And I'm going to go collect my minimum wage check because I solved a small problem. Then you got big problems. I got a client. I sold a solar system to. Turns out they need new wood throughout, $39,000. Customer needs a new roof. Is that what I think about it? $39,000. That's going to be a big chunk. That's going to be a lot more expensive. I'm probably going to lose that deal. Good thing I got a big pipeline. I got a lot of deals. Because guess what? That comes with the territory. These are the kind of problems I want to solve because I've got accurate thinking. I know that my identity is that of a winner. Winners do what winners do. See, winners do what winners do. When things like that come, winners do what winners do. How do we handle this? There's no moment to freak out, because guess what? If I freak out, is that going to waive the fact that the roof has no wood underneath? No. So imagine I spend freaking out. I'm talking to my wife and I'm complaining to my wife about how this sucks and how I'm so unlucky and blah, blah, blah. Man, number one, I'm wasting time. Number two, I'm making it worse. And I'm prolonging it. It is what it is. I got to get on the phone, talk to who I have to talk to. I asked the question, hey, can we only do the roof job where the panels are, not on the whole house? You quoted me the whole house. Can we do only where the roof is? Only where the panels are, excuse me. They said, no. If it was another state, that'd be the case. In California, you got to warranty the whole roof in a situation like that. Man, I got to talk to the customer, prepare the proposal, talk to the customer, let them know. And I know more than likely he's going to say no, cancel the deal. But I have to have this conversation with him. But guess what? When I do solve the deals, it equals thousands of dollars. But more importantly, I teach a mentee how to handle situations like that. And that pays way more dividends in the long run, right? So accurate thinking, practicing objective thinking and avoiding bias, gathering and analyzing data to make informed decisions, avoiding assumptions or jumping to conclusions, and staying curious and seeking new knowledge and information. Let's keep going. Number 12, concentration. Focusing on a single goal or task to achieve success. I'll tell you this much. I talked about this today. You should have a to-do list. You should have a planner that you work with. You should know what your day looks like before it even starts. Finish your day before you start it. Concentrate. I learned a long time ago. If you've got more than 3 priorities, you don't have any. What are your priorities for Tuesday? Tuesday, January 21st, 2025. What are your 3 priorities to help your business move forward and help you get to the next rank? If you don't know what that is, you got to work on your concentration. That's why if you notice, when people ask me, in a nutshell, what do? I recruit. Number 1 thing I do in this business is I recruit. Number 2, I sell. Number 3, I train to recruit and sell. That's how I build my business. I recruit, I sell, I train to recruit and sell. And I create systems around that. And I'm concentrated on that. Okay? Concentration. 5 years to make life fair. I talked about it this weekend. You got to focus on 1 brick at a time. 1 brick at a time. You got 365 bricks to lay in 2025. Every brick is a day. I want to concentrate in 2025 to lay 1 brick at a time. Then I'm going to have a strong. After I lay 7 bricks, that creates a strong. I create another 7 bricks, lay another 7 bricks. That's another strong, because I got 52 strongs in a year. I don't have 52 weeks in a year. I've got 52 strongs in the year, because I'm going to go strong and hard 52 weeks with concentration, because I got goals. And there's going to be some people that to my left and to my right, they're going to quit. They're going to give up on their dreams. They're going to give up on their goals. One of their friends or family members is going to say, I told you so, that was a scam. I told you so, that was a waste of time. And they're going to say, yes, it was. Let me go back to what I was doing before. And guess what? I know that's going to happen. And I'm going forward with or without. I tell people, look, I'm going to the top with or without you. But I'd rather go with you than without you. What's it going to be? I literally just said that to all of you. I'm going to the top. This company's going to the top with or without you. The question is, who wants to come with us? The concentration is easy. We have a goal and a plan to pay $1 billion by 2025. We know how many solar sales we got to do, how many water sales, and how many security sales we got to do to get there. By 2030, we know how many it is. That's a concentration. Some of the people that are here with us now, they'll be with us in 2020, in 2030. Some won't. And that's fine. That's a part of it. God bless them, whatever they decide to do. I wish you all the blessings and all the success and happiness in the world. So avoiding distractions and minimizing multitasking. I recommend you time block. Concentrate by time blocking. Get good at your concentration. I trained on this earlier today. You should have a calendar. I should be able to ask at any given time, hey, Alejandro, Jose, Jabari, Barbie, Idris, Paula, show me your calendar. I want to see what your schedule looks like for the rest of the week. You need to know where you're going to be on Friday. Friday at 12, what you got going on, Idris? Oh, let me check JC. Oh, no, I didn't mean this Friday. I meant next Friday. What do you got going on tomorrow from 12 to 3? You should be able to say, 1 second, pull up my calendar. Because you got a calendar success, right? 8 points a day. The 8-point system is there for a reason. The people that are following the 8-point system are getting more recruits, more sales, more commissions. Bottom line. If you're not following the 8-point system, you're missing out. That's a form of the concentration. That's a part of the system to concentrate. Okay, let's keep going. Number 13, cooperation. This is on the Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. Building strong relationships and collaborations with others to achieve success. Okay, building strong communication, interpersonal skills, being a team player, developing a sense of community and belonging. I'll give an example. Some of you guys are in another market and you might be sidelines. You create cooperation with somebody else. Let's say Jabari and Alejandro happen to be in the same city, right? Or near each other. And they say, hey, we're not on the same team, but how about we do an event together? How about we do a Super Saturday? How about we do a lunch and learn for realtors? You and your team make phone calls, call your contacts. Me and my team do that so we have more people. If you get 5 agents there and I get 5 agents there, 10 agents looks a lot better than 1, right? You got to learn to do that cooperation, right? So that's what we do here. We've got different, if you notice, it's not just the same trainer training every single time. And guess what? A lot of the trainers that train, you got Mr. Sam Bean, you got Mr. Ed Ayala, they're not on the same team. But we come together so we could all help each other and grow. Let's go. Number 14. Profiting by failure. Learning from failures and setbacks to improve and achieve success. Practicing resilience and perseverance. Analyzing failures to identify areas of improvement and using failures as opportunity for growth and staying positive and focused regardless of the failure. So I think it was Watson that was asked, what is the key to success? He said, double your rate of failure. We win some, we learn some. Don't say we win some, we lose some. No, that's not how a winner thinks. We win some, we learn some. Jim Rohn puts it great. He says, you learn more by losing than you do by winning. Know ahead of time that you're going to have failures and success. I say this all the time. When you get to director, the same people that got you to manager won't be the same people that got you to director. When you get to builder 1,000, builder 2,000, builder 4,000, the same people that got you to builder 500 aren't the same that got you to builder 2,000. People that got you to builder 2,000 won't be the same that got you to builder 8,000 and the executive levels. But guess what? That's why when I recruit somebody, my job is I recruit Mark. Mark is at his highest level of enthusiasm, lowest level of knowledge. I want to put him through the system. Fast start, game plan interview, launch event, and make sure he understands the 8-point system for ongoing. We do his launch event. Let's say I recruit a couple of folks through Mark. Mark decides he's, the birds are getting him. If you guys were on the training I did a month ago, the birds are getting him. But I'm anchoring Mark because I recruited Sam through Mark, for example, let's say. Mark is thinking, man, if I quit, I'm not going to profit. Sam is excited. Sam is building. They got some traction going on, and I'm considering quitting. But it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to quit because my buddy Sam is coming in. He's crushing it. I just anchored him. But there's a mistake when you don't strike while the iron is hot, right? But guess what? Some people, nevertheless, are going to quit. And that's not of your doing. Some people just quit. Some deals are going to fall. That's a part of the deal. You have no idea how many people I see come in excited, fired up. They get one appointment that they get excited about. They're counting their commissions already, and the deal for some reason doesn't go through. Then they go ahead and quit. You know why? They never heard this message, or they weren't mentally prepared for that. So let's keep going. Tolerance. Practicing tolerance and open-mindedness to build strong relationships. Okay? Embracing diversity and individuality. Okay? Practicing empathy and understanding towards others and developing a sense of compassion and kindness towards people. Look, we deal with a lot of different people in this business, and this is where the leadership comes in, right? And you cannot help but to increase your leadership. When I was younger in this industry, I used to be very red only, but I was red, strong red with the yellows, with the blues and the greens. And I would blow a lot of them out of the water. Jim Rohn put it best in, by the way, if you haven't listened to Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn, I highly recommend you do. Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn. So it's on YouTube, it's free. Somebody please put it in the WhatsApp group, please. He says, you're gonna get some groups that they're going to do 100. Some groups are going to do 60. Some groups are going to do 30. He said, I said, I'm going to get these 30s to do 100, even if it kills me. He said, I almost died. I meet people where they're at. If you tell me, yeah, man, I want to be a mentor, by the end of the year, right? I'll work within your goals. I'll put you to work with the right person, right? I'll connect you to the right people, right? But as you start to build your business, you start to learn how to deal with different people. I'll give you guys a tip on building, right? Remember, there's 3 rules to building. Prospecting is everything. The fortune is in the follow. And number 3, work with the willing. Some people are not willing. That's why if I got somebody that's a 30, some produce 100, some produce 60, some produce 30. I can find 100 producer through the 30%er. If I get this 30 and I do a launch event and I find a Jabari Sattler type, a Tony, right? Tony Denner type, a Matthew Acosta type, great. Because I am tap rooting through these people. But I got tolerance for this guy. Hey, I'll work with you at your pace, no problem. But I'm going to find people. Every dud knows a stud. Write that down. Every dud knows a stud. Your job is to find those studs. Your job is to be the stud that finds the studs. Right? You got to be the stud that finds the studs. Let's go. Number 16, the golden rule. Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated. Who wants to learn the platinum rule? Anybody want to learn the platinum rule? Okay, here's the platinum rule. Instead of treating other people like you would like to be treated, treat other people like they want to be treated. See, I want to get treated a certain way. Like, for example, me, get to the point, tell me what I got to do, tell me what mistakes I'm making. Don't sugarcoat nothing, bro. Be straight up with me. If I'm messing up, tell me. Okay? That's not necessarily how everybody wants to be treated. So when you learn the personality, if I get a green personality, which, by the way, we're going to be announcing that training. That's the last one of the systems training, is a personality training, by the way, and a test. If I get a green personality type, that is a very analytical person. That is the opposite of a red. They're not a fast mover. They're not aggressive. They overanalyze. As my skills grow, and I know this is a green person. He's just got started, but he's a green person. That means he wants to research everything, go through every training and every certification before he does anything. By the way, greens drive reds crazy. But I'm not going to treat him like I would like to be treated, because I'm going to blow him out of the water. I'm going to treat him like he wants to be treated. I know, because of my experience, that greens they're not turned on by the things that reds are turned on. They're not excited by the things that reds are turned on by. A yellow is excited about helping others and helping the environment. If I tell them about how much commissions we're going to make and how we're going to build a tremendous business and passive income and time freedom, the green is like, but who are we going to help? I want to help some people. I want to hug some trees, right? I want to help the environment, right? The blue just wants to have fun. I take that back. Not just wants to have fun, but that's a big motivation for them. So my point is this: the platinum rule is, right? Treat others how they want to be treated, okay? And of course, treating people with respect and kindness and compassion, and practicing this, with building your business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys got some value from the training. Here's a couple of key takeaways to wrap this up. Success is a result of, keyword, deliberate effort. Success is not accidental, but it's a result of deliberate effort and application of the laws of success. Personal development is key. Personal development, including self-reflection, self-improvement, self-discipline, is essential for achieving success. One of my favorite quotes is, if you could achieve the goals in your life that you want to achieve, being the person you currently are, you would have already achieved them. Think about that. Let's say somebody says, I make $50,000 a year, but my goal is to make $150,000 a year. Well, if you could achieve $150,000 per year income. Being the person you currently are, you would have already had it. So since you don't have it, that means you've got to become more. And if you become more, you can accomplish more. Personal development is key. We do a lot of personal development here on the trainings that we do, but that's Mondays, guys. My question to you is, what are you doing in between? Now, here's another thing. Don't fall into the personal development trap. I recommend 10 pages of a good book a day or 30 minutes of a good audio per day. But you know where your personal development is going to come from? Your best personal development is going to come from the doing of the proper activities daily. You're making phone calls. You're having leadership meetings with your team, right? You're making sales calls. You're doing presentations for the business, presentations for selling our products. That is the personal development. As you're building a team, I guarantee you, you're working on your personal development because you deal with so many personalities, right? Overcoming objections. Next one is relationships are crucial. Build strong relationships, collaborations. Okay. One of the things that we talk often about is networking groups. Networking groups, BNI, Chamber of Commerce. George Foreman put it best. He says, your network determines your net worth. I get good amount of referrals, great referrals even, because of my network. I on purpose network on social media, in person, whenever I get an opportunity to do it. That's why this weekend we did a live event here in California, and we did a speed networking round. 15 chairs in front of each other, 2 minutes each, you guys are talking. Then after 2 minutes, you get up, move to the next chair. Then you get up, move to the next chair, and we did 10 rounds of that, okay? Guess what? Our people got business because of it. People recruited people because of it. People sold products because of it, right? So relationships are crucial. And then finally, failure is an opportunity for growth. We covered that enough. So I'm not going to take a lot of time here today. I knew that we were going to wrap up a little bit faster than usual. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something that I don't normally do. I'm going to open it up for 3 to 5 questions, and then we're going to wrap this up. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And feel free to either unmute yourself or to put the questions in the chat. Raise your hand if you want to unmute yourself, rather. Let's do that. Or feel free to put it in the chat. Okay. Thank you very much, by the way, Rod. Questions? I don't know if you could unmute yourself, but if you can't, let me know and I'll just unmute you. Okay. Somebody raised their hand here. Let's see who that is. Chris, go for it, bro.
Hey, what's up, JC? Great training. Now that we have a new president that just got elected, not a political statement, but how would you treat the next 4 years now that we're under new leadership? I think it's quite urgent, to get business done. But what's your opinion on that?
Look, I don't think that it's going to affect the solar side too much. There's some people that agree with me in the industry, and there's some people that don't agree with me. Nothing is set in stone, right? But listen, in California, for example, we do a lot of PPAs. The market is always going to adjust to whatever happens. In California, in 2023, in April 2023, we had big changes, NEM 3.0. We went from purchases to leases and PPAs because a battery was required. There were entire companies that got up and left, went to Texas or other states because of the changes from the utility companies in 2023. Here's what I told my team in 2023, and mind you, that's before we started BYLD, right? I said to them, that just means that we're going to make even more money because we got less competition. Trust me, guys, we're going to figure it out. Solar is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. So I'm not worried about it. However, I do use it to my advantage, and here's what I'm using it for right now. I am making phone calls and sending text messages to existing homeowners, letting them know, using the excuse of a new president as things may change. And I would recommend that you get an updated proposal. I'd be happy to send it to you because you can lock in any of the savings. And if anything changes for the better, I could get that for you. But if things change for the worse, you're locked into the best. So I use it to my advantage, and I'm not worried. It's like the book, The Science of Getting Rich. I don't worry about none of this stuff because I have no control over what's going to happen, but I have control over how I handle my mind and how I handle my business, and things are always going to work out for my favor. So, all right. And thank you for that. Let's see here. Ed
JC?
Ayala, go for it, brother.
Yeah, JC, yeah, great point. Solar's not going anywhere. The market will adjust. We'll be just fine. I do want to say this, right? As far as tonight's training, spectacular job. 30 years ago in 1995, believe it or not, my mentor said to me, if you want me to work with you and coach you, because he didn't even override me. He says, you got to read Think and Grow Rich every month. If you do it for 12 months, your life will change. And then, of course, I read, The Law of Success. I highly recommend everybody get that. But at least Think and Grow Rich. Here's my question to you. If you had to boil down, right, that giant book, Law of Success, and Think and Grow Rich, would you agree that one of the secret principles that creates massive change, makes everything work, is auto suggestion, right? Where you literally, okay, see, a lot of people think today, right, with digital, with phones, we put everything. No, you got to take a pen, folks, right, and actually write it down. I have a journal, right, 2025 journal, and what I do is I write down my income goal, my simple plan, right? I physically write it down every single day. And a lot of, in the beginning, JC, I didn't know what that meant. And then I realized, wow, it's actually programming my brain to take some action every day. And then when you get action, you get results. It raises your belief. When you raise your belief, you take more action, right? So I'm just telling you, I tell everybody, if you had one takeaway, would you agree that would be a major one, right? Is the auto suggestion,
Yes.
writing it down, your goals every day. Give me a
100%,
comment on
bro.
that. That'd be great. Love to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Yeah, I would say absolutely yes, right? What you are constantly saying to yourself, and it talks about saying it out loud, right? Writing them down and reading them out loud every day. And I would also add with enthusiasm. Act as if it already happened. Be excited for it. That's why I say I'm so happy and grateful. Now that fill in the blank, right? So yes, auto suggestion. It goes back to the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, right? Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between the truth and a lie. It'll take whatever you give it. It is more fertile than any. It is the most fertile ground anywhere. Is your subconscious mind, right? But too many people they're working in their conscious mind, right? So their conscious mind says, no, you can't. No, it's not possible for you. Then they believe it. They worry about it. It goes into the subconscious mind, and now you're doing auto suggestion, but in a backwards way. It's working against you, right? So start thinking about what you're thinking about, man, and write down your goals. They say, I think Danny Pacheco the other day did a training. He says that they did studies that you are 40%, I think, more likely to hit your goals just by writing them down. So I appreciate you sharing that, brother. That makes a lot of sense. Mr. Bean. I see you got your hand raised, brother.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Great training. I love the book. I love the audios even more. I actually listen to it a whole lot more than I read. But one of my favorite chapters that you talked about is inaccurate thinking. And, when you look at, what when he talks about inaccurate thinking, he's talking about all of us who are basically using the thoughts that we're programmed with all the people who we respect. That's why my definition of purpose is to impact the lives of 100 million children directly or indirectly by, mentoring the people who they respect the most. And so, if you program, the mothers, the fathers, the pastors, the teachers, you give them, the right tools, you get them thinking accurately, you adjust their thought process, upgrade their processing systems mentally, then, the future has a chance, So again, that's why all my nieces, all my nephews, I've been adjusting, the things that they've been learning over time, even with going into school. If you're going to college, I'm giving them other things to actually go and learn outside of just the traditional stuff that we grew up learning, because we grew up being taught to go and learn something to get a job, and that's not the way, it should be done, but again, when you know better, you teach better. So your thoughts are not your thoughts. They're programmed thoughts from your pastors, your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, your friends, your family, social media, and everything else. Now it's time for us to learn how to think for ourselves and as opposed to regurgitating what we pick up.
That's such a great point, man. It's so true, right? It goes back to who you've been listening to. And all of us, we've been unconsciously listening to, as you mentioned, the parents, the pastors, the teachers, etc. And without even thinking of like, hey, does that philosophy serve me? At the training that I did this weekend, I mentioned, you know, a lot of people think change takes time. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. That's not true. That's a myth. Change takes a decision, right? Good things come to those who wait. No, it's not true. The real quote is good things come to those who wait, but only what's left over from those who hustle. Sit there and try to hit builder 8,000 sitting on your butt and waiting for people to come. No, you got to go and find them. You got to make the phone calls and get people to hang up on you and get people to say, I'm not. Matter of fact, you got to be looking forward to the rejection. I'll take it a step further. You got to look forward to the rejection. What if that number, check this out. What if the universe, the creator, whatever you believe in, comes to you and with a message in your dream and says 1,007 people. And you're like, 1,007 people. What is that? I got this message, 1,000, and you start seeing that number. Somehow 1,007 people, 1,007, 1,007. And a week later, you hear it again in your sleep, and it says 1,007 people to reject you, to hit your goals. 1,007 is your number. You got to get 1,007 people to tell you no before you achieve your goals and your dreams. The question is, would you do it? And most people would say, most people on here would say, well, if I knew for a fact that 1,007 no's would get me to my goal, but it's 1,007 no's when you prospected them the proper way, trained with the proper attitude and the proper posture. That's a key. That's a caveat. 1,007 no's for you to get to the multiple six figures. Let's say executive 25. Not even executive 250, executive 25. $25,000 a month residual income. Plus you're probably an executive director or national director. You're making another $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 in overrides. But you got to get 1,007 no's. That's your number. Guess what? Some of you guys, your number's 1,007. Some of you guys, your number's 700. Some of you guys, your number's 300. I don't know what your number is. I don't know what your number is. But I tell you what, you go get 1,007 doggone no's that you pitched properly trained with the right attitude. What if somebody said to you, here's a script. This is a script of the most trained, most confident team builder and leader ever been designed. You're co-starring with Brad Pitt. You guys started your own direct sales company. You are his VP. You got to be the most confident prospect and you're going to be pitching people. And here's the script and you're the smoothest, most confident, most relentless person that there's ever been. And you got a full-time job and you've got kids and you've got bills and you figured out one way. Oh, by the way, this movie pays $10 million when it's completed. Would you be that confident leader for 10 million bucks? Most people say, doggone right, I will be. Okay, great. Well, guess what? What I'm saying is act as if. You can start acting as if right now. You would do it for a script. That's 10 million once. You know, you can build that here and make $10 million a year. What if you just make $1 million a year? In 10 years, you make 10. But see, that's much. $1 million a year, residual income is better than a one-time $10 million check. Who could agree with that? $1 million a year residual income is better than a one-time 10 million. That 10 million is going to be gone like this, right? Faster than you think, at least. But if you solid brokerage, subscription-based, override-based, worldwide, it ain't that hard to get to $1 million here. We will have a lot of people. Look, we're going to have people going to be walking around with some shiny rings, man. They're going to look like shiny rings, like Super Bowl rings, man. And jackets. Oh, man, look at that. This guy's wearing the Millionaire jacket. That's the jacket you get when you earn the $1 million. Look at that other guy. He's got his $250,000 ring. Barbie's got that $500,000 ring. Does that make sense? That's all happening. I have if you give me a lie detector test right now, I will pass it because I know that that day already exists in the future. We just got to get there so you can see with me what I see before it's done. I already see it in my mind. I'm already seeing people dressed nicer than they've ever dressed before, more confident than they've ever been confident before. In the beaches of the world, traveling together, in the conventions in Las Vegas, having some drinks together, smoking some cigars together, some of us, enjoying life, talking stories, mentoring new people. There's going to be people that learn about BYLD Network in 2029. Man, you guys got started in 2024. Man, I wish I started then. But I'm excited, man. I'm gonna be an executive one day. I'm gonna be a national one day. I'm gonna have that $1 million jacket. I'm gonna have that ring one day. And we're talking in the leadership. Some of you guys are gonna be in a suite. Your suite in Las Vegas at the convention with 100 team members from there, and you're doing your meeting after the meeting, firing people up, setting goals for them. That day already exists. We just gotta get there. This day, Wences Navarro and I spoke of the day where we will have 100 people on Zoom fired up and committed. Before we even had a back office. Before the name BYLD even existed. You guys know, let me tell you something funny. Kaizen was the first name that we were going to name this company. Kaizen. They were like, nah, not Kaizen. Sounds cool. We were close. Then he tells me one day, what about BYLD? So what? He said, yeah, BYLD. We build people. We build bank accounts. We build mindsets. We build residual income. That's what you do in network marketing. You build. I said, bro, we got a winner. Before we have the name BYLD, we called all of you into existence with our words and our thoughts, our beliefs and our emotions. And no doubt, you need to call what you want into existence. That day, I believe that multiple realities exist in the future. Depends what we do with it. I believe that there's a version of every single one of us with a net worth of $100 million, with a net worth of 1 million, with a net worth of 500,000, with a net worth of 10 million. And our actions between now and then will determine what version we reach. I'll close out with this. There's one of my favorite speakers, a mentor from afar. Matter of fact, Wences Navarro got to work with him. Personally, right? He said, his name is Ed Milet. He said, I believe that one day when I die and go to heaven, the Creator is going to introduce me to that version of myself that I could have achieved in this life. The health, the physique, the wealth, the impact, the major impact on the world, the body and the health and the lifestyle, and all of it. He says, and when I meet that person, I want that person to be identical. I want there to be no difference between that person that the Creator said, this is who you have the potential to become. And your decisions in your life got you to where you're at. And he says, when I get there, I want that person to be identical. I don't want to get there. He says, I don't want to get there and not recognize that person. Like, whoa, I could have accomplished that much. I could have blessed that many people. I could accomplish and became that by blessing that many people. He says, I want to be identical. When I heard him say that years ago, I said, I also heard somebody say, our gifts is our talents is a Creator's gift to us. What we do with those talents is our gift to Him. I believe that the ambitions, the goals, and the dreams that we have are given from the Most High, and they're not given to us to tease us. They're given to us because we can achieve them. That's proof. The fact that I've got the desire to donate $100,000 a month in tithing and charities, the fact that I've got that desire is proof of the Creator giving me that. Because I don't have a desire to hurt anybody. I have a desire to help as many people as possible. I want to live forever through the lessons I taught other people, through the books I'm going to write. When I am gone, I want my children to have people go up to them and say, hey, man, I remember your father. He's a good guy. He loved people. He's a good father. That's what I want. It's way more than the money. Way more than the money. But guess what? Building a network helps get the money, get the influence, get the experience, and make the impact. So this is much more than business, ladies and gentlemen. I am asking you, think bigger, faster. Think bigger, faster. We are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like our decisions. If you were born poor, that's not your fault. But if you die poor, that is your fault. We are destined for greatness, and we've got a great company. And the leaders here, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're going to the top. The question is, are you coming with? Have a good night. I love you guys. Let's pack out tomorrow. Let's perform. Let's go out there and really take what we learned today, and let's go out there and apply it tomorrow. Let's show up with our cameras on, with a great attitude, with our guests and our team. Let's not just have a feel-good session right now. That's not what winning is about. Winning, in order to win in business, you got to have horsepower and staying power. You got to have horsepower, meaning you got to get off the blocks, making the phone calls, and you got to have staying power. You don't just do it Monday. You don't just do it Tuesday. You do it all week long. 5 years to make life fair. Have a good night, guys. Bye.